Hello, and welcome back to this week's edition of Take It Back. Today, we will be exploring the Southern colonies.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show!
The first colony we're going to investigate is Maryland. Now, keep an eye out for the local folk. We are here on a Sunday, which is very important. Because remember, to help restore peace among the colony's religious factions, the Maryland Assembly passed an act concerning religion in 1649. It formalized Maryland's policy of allowing Christians religious freedom. Because of this, it promoted religious tolerance among the Christians.
Also, pay close attention to when we wink. This means that you may or may not be tested on this later.
You may.
Further evidence of Maryland's commitment to religious tolerance was Providence. This is a settlement at the mouth of the Severn River, founded by about 300 Puritans who were persecuted in Virginia but came here to practice their religion freely. Oh, Abby, look over there.
I'm Anna, and we are from the future. Can we ask you a few questions, please?
Sure, but you can't make me late to church now.
So, we've established that religion is extremely important to you colonists here. Do you agree?
You see, here in Maryland is home to a place called the Haven for Catholics, and I just can't express to you how happy I am to be able to express my faith openly.
Tell us the relations that you have with the Native Americans here.
Well, at first, I'm pretty sure they considered us their friends. They were crucial to the success of Maryland. From them, we learned about the rich resources here.
Can you tell us a little bit about your economy?
Well, tobacco is our main source of income, and the emergence of slave economy is just starting up. Our slaves, instead of paid workers, really will boost our product efficiency. We will turn bigger profit across all the boards.
What are your politics like?
In 1639, a representative government was established, you see. Our husbands get to choose the representatives.
Well, thank you for your time now. Go get back to church.
Great.
Good day.
You as well.
Let's move on to the next state,
Virginia.
Welcome to the beautiful state of Virginia. Here, we will explore a little more of the colony and maybe even if we're lucky, run into a few continental congressmen. As we know, made a huge difference in our future, the Declaration of Independence.
That's right. Keep your eye out for one. You can usually find them dressed up in a 15th century formal dress clothing with obvious wig and a scarf-type collar.
Oh, hello there. I was just wondering if I could ask you a few questions.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I don't answer questions for the press.
Hey! Wait! Come back! Sorry about that. I thought I would go after him because I thought he could give us some good information, but he was so rude. I hear they have a great restaurant. You go find some slaves. Will do. Hello there.
Hi, how are you? Master's not in today, but I can help you with any of your questions.
Do you know much about the politics in Virginia?
Master talks about this all the time. You see, so apparently the king appointed a council at first, but this wasn't a very strong government, and the colony suffered from really weak leadership. And so in the early 1600s, I think like about 1609, if I remember correctly, I might not, but I'm pretty sure, the control went to become private. They were authorized to appoint a strong government. The elite, such as my master, serve the council. Today, it comes down to the fact that they want freedom from the government interference in or regulation of their lives. Above all, the master talks about how they really want freedom from taxes, particularly taxes that they had not imposed upon themselves. Can you tell us about what you know about the economy for the freemen? How does your master get all his money? Well, I think we know that having us slaves doing all the work with the tobacco and such makes it easy for him to get his money. I know from going with the master and the master's wives on other plantations that they also grow tobacco there as well. Lastly, what is their social life like? Well, they go to dances a lot. That's the way they like to court. The master, his peers discuss business during them times. You know, they have their little dance and then they get to talking about tobacco and whatnot. And also intermarriage was used to keep and increase their wealth.
Well, off to the next state, North Carolina. Well, here we are. We've gone a little bit further into time around the 1700s. What should we be looking for here, Abby? Here we are trying to find a plantation owner's wife. Oh wait, there's Mrs. Smith. Can I just ask you a few questions?
Fine, but you better make it quick.
So, what are the politics like here in North Carolina?
Well, we're very developed like the other colonies. In fact, North and South Carolina used to just be a big territory called Carolina. Anyways, we weren't very happy under proprietary rule, so all the current proprietaries but one sold their shares in North Carolina to King George II, and we were placed under the king's rule as a royal colony. Under this, the king has now appointed us some governors.
What do you know about the economy?
Well, Carolina started booming in the mid-1700s. The only colony that gained more people than us was Virginia. People moved here, my family included, because it offered much farmland, warm climate for growing tobacco, and more freedom than most colonies. We produced things to repair ships and such, but our main crop being tobacco, just like the other colonies.
Lastly, could you tell us about the social aspect of North Carolina?
Well, coming from a family of rich planters, we like to have feasts that our slaves prepare for us. My favorite thing is when we have company over for a large, extravagant dinner.
Have a nice day now.
You too.
Let's move on to the next stop, South Carolina. Today, we will be exploring Charleston, which is one of the richest cities in all the 13 colonies. This state is home to many southern plantations, so be on the lookout for those. I think there's a big plantation right up the road. Let's head that way. Hey, would you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Sure, I wouldn't mind, but I gotta continue to pick these bushes, because if I don't pick, my master's gonna be very angry. You hear?
We know that the South relied very heavily on slavery. How does that apply to South Carolina?
Oh yes, slavery is big down here. Out of 100,000 people in South Carolina, 60,000 are African American slaves. We have more slaves than any other colony, mostly because of the indigo industry. Indigo is very difficult and expensive to produce. So the white men imported slaves from Africa.
Is there any conflict between the slaves and the slave owners?
Well, yes, actually. In the Stone Rebellion, us slaves killed 25 white men. Scary times that was.
Now we know that the Spanish discovered South Carolina, but what kind of other settlers are here?
At first it was English-based colony, but grew to include Scottish, French, and German people, and of course, us African American.
That's a lot of diversity. What about religion? Is that diverse? And what do you guys do for fun?
Most religions are accepted here, and as far as fun, my master and his family like to go to concerts and the theater. They also like to read the newspaper, I guess. I don't go to the master's house that often.
Well, thank you so much for your time. The Mercy Girls will really learn a lot from your interview. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's say goodbye to South Carolina and hello to Georgia. Georgia started off as a colony funded by trustees, but later it transitioned into a royal colony, so you will see effects of both of them. The Spanish also tried to take over Georgia at one point, so you may see Spanish influences as well. Let's head to the main town. Look for a farmer to interview. That's perfect, because Georgia was built by small farmers as opposed to large plantations like the other colonies. Wow, Abby, look, it's a farmer. Stop, that's perfect. Excuse me, sir.
Howdy.
I'm from the future, and I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions to educate some students.
Well, sure, go for it.
All right, well, tell me how Georgia was formed.
Well, once the English heard about the new colony of Georgia, they put out an ad in London for people to apply. They wanted unfortunate poor people to leave in London, sort of like a rehabilitation center. In the end, only 120 people was chosen.
What about religion?
The English trustees, who we were founded by, were very strict about what the colonists could and could not do. So Georgia is a Protestant-based colony.
You said the trustees were strict. Did they control anything else?
Now that you mention it, there were 3 laws that Oglethorpe, who is our founder, was told to enforce. No slaves, no rum, and no talking with the Native Americans. All of these, however, faded away.
What's the cash crop here in Georgia?
Well, at first, the trustees provided us with money, so we didn't have to make our own product. But soon we discovered race and indigo. These crops were very hard to produce, and so making profit was an issue. So we turned to slavery. As our economy grew, there was less and less time for leisure.
Well, that's the tour, everyone. Have a good trip back to reality and ace that test.